Alright, it's time to get our motor and lamp attached here. So the motor has there's a hole in the back of the casting and a pair of mounting brackets for these big fat screws, and this one is actually the hard one to get, the top one. So because it's got the spring, because the bracket is spring loaded. So to get the top one started, and then we can get the bottom one in place. Go. All right, and then the lamp is held in with this screw on a bracket on the machine, which I need to fasten from the front. Get that started. So there we go. Now, the terminal block mounts right here on the machine, and it's got space for the lamp wire to fish down like so behind the motor. So lamp wire fishes in behind the motor, and the motor wire actually comes in from the side like this, and it goes through this space on our block. Take our insulator stuff off of there. Actually, I'm going to swap and put our motor through the top there and the lamp come out the side like so. But then we need to cut all this wire off right about here, so that we've got a very nice amount to wrap around our terminals. Okay. Pull that off. Okay. So this terminal block is, I guess, a Chicago-style connector. But the cords I have for this are Belden branded, and seem to be in okay shape. So this works like any other sewing machine power setup. You got power and the controller side. So the power side is these two pins. So the common on the power gets one motor and one light wire. And then this is the other light wire. Okay. I'm gonna poke my wires around the other direction. So this is the other motor wire that I just fished out of there. And twisting up the light wire. Now, the motor connects on the other side of the controller terminal. There we go. And then the lamp goes on the other side of the hot terminal, or the other side of the power side. So there. So you can see we got power on these sides. So the power comes here, and then there's a bridge to go out to the controller, and the power comes through the controller and back here to the motor, and then the motor goes through the motor and comes back to common. And then power goes from here to one side of the light, and then back to the common side. So and I wanted to make this be the direction that my wires went, so that my motor wire comes in that side and the lamp comes over there, just so they'll stay out of the way. And we've got our insulating sleeves for the screws that go through. And then we've got a pair of very long screws, and this cover is reversible, and it's got an insulating ring get the first screw through and kind of started. Our second screw. All the way through. And then tighten these evenly so that it presses that block and cover against the back of the machine nice and evenly. There we go. All right, that is rewired. So I have to take a break to figure out to go looking for a thread path for this machine. But I guess the last things we can do before I rush off to do that I'll throw the rest of my loose parts on it. All right. There's a this has a bottom clamping presser foot, so put our clamp on our presser bar, and then to put our foot on our clamp. Make sure that that's in place, and then line up our presser foot with the hole before we tighten the perfect. That's lined up, and then we'll put our presser bar as high as it goes, and put our needle clamp on. And this machine does take the 20x1 needles, just like that gray bar rotary did. Which means I'm going to have to build a I'm going to have to put a stopper in there so you can put the shorter 15x1 needles in. But screw that just lived in the presser bar, and the handy thread cutter that was on this machine. And then time for the bobbin winder. It's threaded on one side, smooth on the other, so the screw goes through that one way. And this is a snug fit, because the friction of this joint is what keeps the bobbin winder engaged. So just have to wiggle it until we get it in place, and then this is like the gray bar. You have to hold it in place. So I didn't lose a... Nope. And I didn't misplace any other springs. Alright. Well, I guess we'll be checking this out shortly, but first I need to go find some threading information.